Hello Internet, this is BoneCarlos, and today I'm going to be bringing to you my first ever weapon video. And today we're going to be taking a look at the M16 in Modern Warfare 3. M16 has pretty much been a staple in every Modern Warfare game and iteration it's come across, with minor tweaks and balances and such throughout all the games, but I'm glad it's making a returning role in Modern Warfare 3. And the role that I found using this gun was the typical Slayer role. You're not going to be running and gunning with this gun in any shape, way, or form because of the lower rate of fire. And as such, I found my playstyle to be more of a slower paced, lining up my shots and taking my time, which I know is pretty much counterintuitive to the Modern Warfare 3 style, but I found it to be very, very effective. So first off, I started using it just as what basically everybody's been doing with either red dot sight or holographic, your choice. And for the proficiency, I found myself using the flinch more often than not, because this gun, it does kill in one burst, and I found myself aiming towards the crotch stomach area because it does kind of recoil upwards and to the right a little bit. And I noticed that if you get shot even with a lower damage weapon, your aim just goes all over the place, making you miss those second and third bullets. And by the time you ready yourself and steady yourself for another burst, you're already dead. So flinch takes that away, makes sure you keep your bullets on target and be able to kill, otherwise the bullets would fly off in any kind of general direction. For the perks, I ended up using sleight of hand for my first one, because you don't really need scavenger for this weapon. I mean, for the starting ammo that you have, you're generally going to be getting 15 kills or so if you're spot on with your aim and your kill abilities. And after 15 kills, I'll let someone die once just to get a new get more ammo. I mean, that's no problem. If I find myself going 15-1, you know what? That's a good time for me. That's a good day. So I don't really need any more ammo with that, which is why I went for with sleight of hand. I mean, you don't really want to put recon on that, even if you have pro. You don't really want to end up tagging your enemies, because you want to be able to kill in just that one burst. You can put blind eye, but really that'll just take away from being able to reload quicker. So for my first perk, I ended up using sleight of hand, and that was true for across all iterations that I found and all attachments that I was able to come across with the M16. Sleight of hand is my first perk that I usually went for. For my second perk, I either ended up using hardline or quick draw, depending on which kill streaks I had up. So if I had something along the lower lines, say 3-4-5 or 3-5-7, I ended up using quick draw, being able to snap on targets that much more faster. Or if I wanted to go for a higher kill streak, say 7-9-11 or anything like that, I ended up using hardline. And for the specialty class, I always if I ever choose a specialty class, I love putting hardline because it just gives you that one perk upgrade in one kill. So for second perk, I either use hardline or quick draw, either one. All other ones are just kind of like, well, take your choice. You don't want to really be using blast shield, because you're not going to be getting hit with grenades or stuns that often, because you want to stay away from any of the close quarters combat really that comes across with those. For the third perk, I ended up using marksman. Out of all of them, is pretty much my favorite to use. You can use stalker, but I found that marksman is better for this style of play, or this setup that I was using, because you want to be able to take your time and pick them off, and you're not going to be moving from cover to cover, aiming down sights. You're going to be turning corner or just looking down a line of sight, picking people off that are there, and then moving on to your next spot and rinse and repeat. And marksman just lets you see those people, see the enemies at a longer distance. So that was my take on this typical Slayer role, vanilla kind of class that everybody's been using. And what my first surprise that I found when using this gun was the hybrid sight, and I actually enjoyed and had fun using this attachment on this gun. But before I get started, a little quick note: the hybrid sight does, for some reason, switch over back and forth between them if you're running. I don't know if it's just me or if it's actually something that's true. So what you can do is just do a quick tap run, switch over between the sights, and you're good to go. It's just that much faster. So that was just a little thing I noticed when I was using the hybrid sights. What I did notice is that for the M16 on the hybrid sights, I still find myself using flinch. All the basic rules apply from the M16, along with, like I said before, the first perk, sleight of hand. I found myself not using hardline as much, no matter the kill streak setup that I had when I was using the hybrid. just because I didn't know if I was going to be up close or at a range, so I ended up using just quick draw more exclusively with the hybrids. For the third perk, you can use marksman, but it's kind of a deceptive thing to use, because even if you're using the longer scope of the two, marksman, it'll show them up on the screen at a complete distance. But what I found is on the hybrid side, the burst pattern kind of goes off in a little crazy direction, so it doesn't keep the bullets in a tight grouping for some reason. So marksman will just kind of, you'll see an enemy at a distance and you'll think you'll be able to kill it because it shows up with marksman, but you really won't. You'll end up using 3, 4, or 5 bursts, and you really don't want to be churning through that much ammo quickly. So I ended up myself using the stalker perk, just being able to just move back and forth so the snipers don't get you. So that was my take on the hybrid. I still had some fun with it. It does keep the grouping of those bullets, it spreads them out in my opinion, for whatever reason. But still a very fun thing to use. And what was probably my the biggest surprise when using the M16 would be the thermal sights. I was pleasantly surprised with what it does. It keeps the grouping of the bullets together very close, that in almost all cases they're gonna hit no matter what the range for some reason. So with that in mind, I ended up using a stability, because you're not really going to be getting shot at if you're going to be using the thermal scope. You want to stay at a distance and just pick people off. All the other perks pretty much stay in line with the other ones. You got sleight of hand. I ended up using hardline exclusively because you really don't need to be quick drawing that much, and I ended up using marksman for just for obvious reasons. You want to be able to see those enemies at a distance. What I did notice, that I said I'm using the stability perk with the thermal sight, it'll still keep the kills at 1 burst, so 1 burst will still kill them pretty much at any range, unless you miss those bullets for some reason, or they're hiding behind cover. What I did enjoy using as well would be using 2 attachments on the M16, which would be the thermal sights and a silencer. You won't show up on the radar. It's a 2 burst kill at any range. So you're gonna have a trade-off, either sacrificing killing power for not showing up on the mini map. So that'll be a definite choice on what you want to do. If you do end up using the 2 attachments alongside with the silencer, you're gonna be tempted to use a scavenger attachment. But really, if you're gonna be killing people off at a distance, you're not gonna have a chance to go pick up the ammo packs that they drop. So those were my 3 favorite kind of class setups that I was able to find. Typical Slayer, the hybrid sights, and the thermal sights. You can use 2 attachments to throw on any kind of red dot sight or any kind of sight, and throw on like a heartbeat sensor or a shotgun or a grenade launcher. But really, I find that just lacking on what this gun is really meant to do, which was just a straight up kill. And it takes away from the other proficiencies that I was talking about with flinch and all those others, and etc, etc, etc. I feel like that I've talked pretty much what I need to say about the M16. I hope you guys found this enjoyable. I hope you guys were able to take some kind of information out of it. If not, leave a comment down below on what I can do to make this more enjoyable for you or more informative for you guys. Also, if you want me to do a specific gun, remember, just the primary weapons, leave a comment down below, and we'll go from there. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm gonna get on out of here.